interrogative is the basic grammatical pattern for asking question. A question presumes that there is something that the speaker wants to know. As Halliday and Matthiasen state, the natural theme of a question is what the questioner wants to know, and the use of interrogatives involves selecting an element that indicates the sort of answer that the questionnaire requires and placing it at the beginning of clause. Interrogative always ends with a question mark. This is the most common syntactic environment of interrogatives according to Cambridge Dictionary. It starts with an interrogative word plus auxiliary or modal verb plus subject plus main verb if there is any other verb plus remainder and the question mark. The interrogative word is a structured word that is being solved. The remainder is the optional one, while the words that are underlined are the independent clause. We have provided an example that proves that this syntactic environment is correct. Where do you live in the countryside? The interrogative word where is a structure being solved. Since without it, it is less likely to execute the questioning, where it indicates that the speaker is asking a question. The phrase in the countryside is a dependent clause. That is why it is optional and can be omitted, since a sentence, where do you live, has its complete meaning and can stand by itself. This is an example of closed question or WH interrogatives. We have another syntactic environment of interrogative wherein the auxiliary or modal verb plus subject are the structured word being solved. Since we will no longer use the WH question or WH interrogatives, this will initiate the question. We have provided an example that will prove that this syntactic environment is correct. Do you live here in Pangasinan? Here, it includes the word that indicates what the speaker wants to know, such as do you, are you, did you, can you, have you, and so on. And since the interrogative word is eliminated, the phrase do you is the word stands for interrogation for the responder to just say yes or no. And the dependent clause in Pangasinan is labeled as optional, as a statement, you live here, can make sense on its own. This is an example of polar interrogatives or yes-no question. This next syntactic environment of interrogative, the interrogative word is optional since it is not necessary to use to execute the questioning. And the last part of the statement, wherein it includes option 1 or option 2, indicating that there are choices for the responder to choose. This example proves that the syntactic environment is correct. Are you more interested in dogs or cats? The interrogative word is labeled as optional, since the statement, are you more interested in dogs or cats, can have its sense without it. The word are you is a structured word being solved since it helps to execute the question. Remember that the choices here can be 2 or more. This next syntactic environment involves 2 clauses, with a positive statement and a negative statement. This is a tag question. Typically, tag questions are used when we want the audience to agree or disagree with our point. Here, the interrogative word is completely eliminated. The positive statement contains subject plus auxiliary plus main verb plus remainder, separating it from the negative statement with a comma. The negative statement contains auxiliary plus not plus personal pronoun, same as the subject. Here are the examples of tag question starting with a positive statement and ending with a negative statement. You are coming, aren't you? You do like wine, don't you? Here we have labeled the remainder as the optional one and can be omitted. And the last phrase after the comma, aren't you and don't you, are the structure word being solved, since it made the sentence an interrogative, with the responder either agreeing or disagreeing with the question. Another syntactic environment of tag question, wherein it starts with a negative statement and ends with a positive statement. The negative statement containing the subject plus auxiliary plus not plus the main verb, if there is any other verb, plus the remainder, separating it from the positive statement with a comma, and the positive statement containing the auxiliary plus personal pronoun, same as the subject. Remember that the main verb and the negative can change its location depending on the sentence. The last clause of tag question is a structure being solved since it helps to execute the questioning. This is an example of tag question starting with a negative statement and ending with a positive statement. This example will justify that our syntactic environment is true. It isn't holiday, is it? You are not John, are you? Is it and are you are the phrase or the structure word being solved. We can add today in it isn't holiday today, is it? Where it is optional and can be eliminated. But if there are none, then it's okay. Our presentation ends here. Thank you.